is Fox 14 News at 9.
Thank you for choosing Fox 14. I'm Sarah Scarlett. First on Fox, President Donald Trump addresses the nation from the Oval Office. That press conference wrapped just minutes before this newscast. Here's what he had to say about the response to the coronavirus.
After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight.
President Trump went on to say this is the most aggressive, comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. And the NBA has suspended its season due to the coronavirus. This announcement comes after one of the players for the Utah Jazz had a preliminary test come back positive. The results were reported shortly after tip-off of tonight's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. At the time that game was canceled, the affected player was not in the arena. The NBA is suspending gameplay until further notice. Continuing coverage, in the meantime, the coronavirus outbreak is officially a pandemic, and Louisiana's presumptive cases have jumped from 6 to 13. Governor John Bel Edwards has declared a public health emergency for the state. Fox 14's Maya Hudgens has been following the Louisiana outbreak. She joins us now with more. Is Maya?
Sarah, those 13 cases of COVID-19 are in the following parishes: Orleans, Lafourche, St. Tammany, Jefferson, Iberia, and Caddo. In today's press conference, Governor Edwards maintained the risk to the community is still low. On Monday, Governor John Bel Edwards announced Louisiana's first case of coronavirus.
I learned that we have a presumptive positive case here in Louisiana, a Jefferson Parish resident who was hospitalized in Orleans Parish.
By Wednesday afternoon, that number jumped to 13.
The numbers are going to be changing frequently. We do expect the number of confirmed cases to increase over time.
A majority of the cases are in Orleans Parish. 3 of those infected are in the same assisted living facility.
We are fairly certain now that there is community spread in the Orleans area.
Right now, Edwards says the goal is to limit transmission and ensure Louisiana has everything it needs to fight the virus. He signed an executive order Wednesday afternoon.
This declaration ensures that state resources are made available to our state agencies and local governments. It addresses issues including price gouging, should that become necessary, as well as prohibiting international travel for state employees to level 2 and level 3 countries as designated by the CDC.
The population most at risk is the elderly. Edwards warns them to take the necessary precautions.
The best thing they can do is certainly stay away from individuals who are sick, stay away from large gatherings, and reconsidering any travel plans that they have.
Fears of spreading COVID-19 have led to the cancellation of several events. Edwards says expect that to be a repeating theme.
These cancellations are being done with the public's health and safety in mind, and it's always the case that the health and safety of the public is our #1 concern.
The administration is reminding the public to wash your hands, cough into your elbow, and stay home if you're sick. They add that the test for COVID-19 will not detect the virus if you don't have symptoms. So if you have the symptoms, call your doctor. In the studio, Maya Hudgens, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Thanks, Maya. In the meantime, the governor of Arkansas announced he signed an executive order to declare a public health emergency in response to the state's first presumptive positive case. It still needs to be confirmed by the CDC to be an official case, but the state is operating under the guise that it's a positive case. The governor also announced that travel for state employees will be limited and need approval from cabinet members. He also said that the state will not need to work remotely and will continue to provide services. Many states have canceled events such as concerts and festivals, and some sports leagues have begun limiting attendance. But Governor Hutchinson sees no need for that in Arkansas yet.
In Arkansas, with the limited exposure that we have with one case, only one case that is presumed positive, there's not any need for canceling events I do not see any need for canceling school activities.
The governor also says that state services have plans in place should the situation get worse, but did not elaborate on those since under the current environment, it's not necessary to discuss those plans. He also is urging Arkansans to reconsider any travel they have for upcoming spring breaks and to consider things like if a destination has had cases of the coronavirus or potential exposure to the elderly upon return to the state. And the lone state in the ARC-LMIS without a coronavirus case is Mississippi, but officials are on high alert. In Jackson, the House St. Patty's Parade and Festival has been canceled because of concerns about the disease. Again, Mississippi has no confirmed cases of the virus, but some Mississippi residents in the state's northwest corner are on home quarantine after possible exposure to a case in nearby Memphis, Tennessee. While Monroe fire officials responded to a reported drowning earlier today, it happened just before 4 p.m. at Black Bayou Wildlife Management Area. In the video, you can see Acadian AirMed arriving on the scene. At least one person was taken from the scene by ambulance. No details or names have been released at this time. One of the men who helped pull the victim out of the water says he was told a boat with two men hit a wave, turned over, and both men went into the water. They were both wearing life jackets, but only one of the life jackets worked. Rescue teams are working to find the other man. Some friends of the missing man said they witnessed the rescue team recover his fishing pole that they found in the lake. This is a developing story and will provide more details as we get them. An arrest has been made in connection to the death of Jeffrey D. Early. Early was attending a party in Ruston in January when he was shot and killed. Fox 14's Isabel Alberton spoke with some of Early's family members.
In January, Jeffrey D. Early was shot and killed at a party in Ruston. Officials believe Howard Jackson is responsible for his death. After months of searching, a Crime Stopper tip led officials to an apartment in Simsboro. That's where they found Howard Jackson.
Thank you, Jesus. Big relief.
Authorities say Jackson was hiding out in his girlfriend's home. Jackson's girlfriend told deputies he had been with her for about a week. Officials contacted Jeffrey's mother.
Well, they told me that they got him out of a house in Simsboro. Lord, it was like weights lifted off my shoulder. I was so glad, so glad.
Palmo says if it wasn't for the tip, she doesn't know how long it would have been before her family could have some closure.
Very crucial. Whoever gave the tip, I thank them for doing it. I really do thank them for doing it, but I wasn't going to give up. I don't care what it took, I was still going to find him.
Palmo says although this will not bring her son back, she and her family can finally have some peace.
I'm so happy we have justice now. Everything is fine.
Palmo says any information that can be given in any case can be crucial. She hopes people will come forward for other families, just as someone did for theirs.
Just look at it as if it was one of your family members, if it was your son or your daddy or brother. Look at it that way. I'm glad. I'm just glad. I'm happy. Whoever tipped them out, I sure thank them very, very much.
In Ruston, Isabel Alberton, Fox 14 News.
Jackson was charged with second-degree murder. Both Jackson and his girlfriend are facing multiple drug charges. Jackson's bond has been set at $1,250,000. The Union County Sheriff's Department is investigating a man's death as a suicide after he was found near the Parker's Chapel High School. Investigators were called to a parking area near a baseball field this morning. The call referenced an adult male in a pickup truck that appeared to be dead. The victim was not an employee or a student of the school. Based on evidence, investigators believe the man died overnight outside of school hours. The identity of the victim has not been released. The mother of one of the teens killed in a vehicle accident in Union County is speaking out. She told Fox 14's Gabrielle Pfeiffer that she hopes other youth will learn from this tragedy.
Anthony was a very sweet, loving boy. He was the life of the party. He enjoyed just being Anthony and just having fun.
On the night of March 2nd, that fun quickly turned to tragedy for 5 teens. They were involved in a single vehicle accident. Police say the driver sped around a curve and crashed off of Galilee Road. According to one of the mothers, they were having too much fun.
My understanding was, I believe they all tested positive for marijuana.
Misty Foster's youngest son, Anthony McIntyre, died in the accident along with 14-year-old Chris Wilson. 2 lives now gone and 3 others changed forever. Foster hopes she can turn this tragedy into purpose.
And I know that there has been some very nasty remarks on that little girl, and now is not a time for that. If we can take this tragedy and turn it into a victory and save anybody in our communities nationwide, then we've done something.
Foster says she understands kids just want to have some fun and enjoy life, but they must also know that there are consequences for bad choices.
If kids are being reckless or not thinking about the consequences, they ultimately end in death or in tragic injury.
Foster believes God gave her peace with her son's death so that she can protect other children. She says she will continue spreading this message to the world. In El Dorado, Gabrielle Pfeiffer, NBC 10, your local news leader.
Chris Bell's funeral will be on Saturday. Now, there is a GoFundMe account to help with funeral expenses. You can find that link on our website, myarklemist.com. Coming up on Fox 14 News at 9, Sterlington law officials are giving you a chance to clear your name. We'll tell you about the upcoming amnesty program.
Attention Dish Network subscribers. Don't sit still.